Hi, my name is Julie O'Brien, and on behalf of Newry, Mourne and Down District Council and Tourism Northern Ireland, you are very welcome to this recording entitled Communicating Through the COVID-19 Crisis. The purpose of this recording is to support your business with practical tips on how to create a communication plan in the short to medium and longer term through the COVID-19 crisis. The recording will follow the format of the 5 key topics outlined on this slide. Do remember that there is a live webinar follow-up to this recording that will take place on Wednesday 13th of May from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. If you would like to submit a question in advance of that webinar, please email those questions through to the web link shown in this slide before Monday the 11th of May. So let's start with the key components of effective communications. While we all might prefer to bury our heads at this time, it is really important to understand that communicating is even more crucial during a period like the current crisis. So when planning our communication, we need to be clear about the words we choose, the tone we use, and the timing of our communications. In the current climate of uncertainty, people are looking for communications that are empathetic, measured, concise, and clear. On this slide, you can see an example of a communication that an accommodation provider in Northern Ireland has issued to their customers. I will leave it with you to read the wording in more detail. Having read this communication, you will notice that the language is clear, measured, thoughtful, mindful of both employees and customers. It gives clear direction on how to stay in contact with the business, and it reminds customers of the really important role this business has played in their lives. In the current times, our communication strategies also need to be sensitive and adapt to the evolving crisis. Timing is everything. This example was issued during a dramatic point in the crisis when businesses and schools were closing with a clear focus on protecting lives. This is therefore not the time to issue an aggressive summer promotion. It would simply be inappropriate. Let's take a look now at what we need to consider when creating a communications plan. The first thing we need to work out is what we want to say. For example, do we want to mark an anniversary, advise people of services that we are selling online, or maintain customer interest by sharing an update on our destination? Secondly, we need to figure out when we would like to communicate, maybe in advance of a bank holiday or before summer. When figuring out the when, we need to be very careful about engaging our customers through communication rather than bombarding them. Finally, we need to figure out how we want to communicate, maybe through video or social media or by telephone. In the current crisis, if we have a service that is immediately available for sale, let's say an online cookery or singing class or take-out meals, we can let our customers know about that. If we have a service that cannot be sold until the longer term, it can be a good idea to couch a promotion for that service in kind language. In this example, you will see how Katie Coyle has done this for the Oriel restaurant. What is nice about Katie's communication is that it reflects the personality of this business. And while it is honest, it is also kind and sincere, as it encourages voucher sales through the value-added offering of a bouquet of flowers that is fitting for this business. In this example, you can see that Katie is encouraging voucher sales in a different way through an early bird discount. Now let's take a look at how to manage customer needs and existing bookings, including cancellations. At this time, it is important that the business proactively reaches out to customers regarding their bookings. In the example of this glamping site owner, you can see that Gavin engages with the customer before inviting them to postpone their booking with very gentle language. Of course, the customer ultimately decides what they want to do, and the business needs to be respectful of this decision. This slide shows how Gavin might reply via telephone in the case of the customer requesting a cancellation or alternatively a postponement. As ever in tourism businesses, all communications should be confirmed in writing, and this slide shows how Gavin approaches his email follow-up in the case of a cancellation or alternatively in the case of a postponement. Now let's take a look at some tips for mapping out a communication plan. Personally, I like to use this simple format of laying out an objective and associated actions as this slide demonstrates. Through this format, we can very quickly create a plan as only bullet point notes are required. On this example, you can see how Katie Coyle of Oriel Restaurant has used the document for her first objective: make customers aware of my new online services, Downpatrick Cooking Online. In this slide, you can see how Katie Coyle created her second objective, entitled Making Customers Aware of My Beautiful Destination. By using this format, you can work out the objectives you would like to achieve in the short to medium and longer term during this crisis and leading into the recovery period. The plan's simple bullet point format also enables you to quickly adapt and to make any necessary changes as the crisis evolves. Remember, when creating your plan, look around, seek inspiration from friends, colleagues, and family. Always remember the golden rule that a well-judged strategic input equals the associated outcome. This means that a well-judged communications plan will ensure that your business can reap the benefits during the point of recovery. Please note that as a follow-up to this recording, there will be a live webinar on the topic of communications on Wednesday, 13th of May from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. If you would like to have your questions addressed at this webinar, please submit your query by Monday, 11th of May through the following web link that is shown on this slide: www.visitmournemountains.co.uk/industry. Once there, you can then click on the relevant Submit Question box as shown on this screenshot. As you can see, this web link also lists the full suite of workshops and mentoring supports that form part of this series. For now, I would like to thank you for listening to this recording, and I am really looking forward to receiving your questions, and I am especially looking forward to seeing you all at the live webinar on Wednesday, 13th of May from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Until then, I wish you the very best.